Joleon, I want to go to you about exactly how you feel about these events, depressing events that have been made even worse by comments by hugely influential figures in football, like Jose.
Yeah, I think that was the concern, and after thinking about it, initially just anger. Whenever I feel there's been a comment made racially, just initial reaction is anger. Simmered down a little bit, and then after the game, it was more emotion, because saddened emotion. The fact that Jose, not just Jose, I listened to the game on Amazon. Mark Clattenburg had a similar take on Vinicius Jr, just to find that the reaction was due to a celebration. And then I've seen comments from a teammate, Sergio Aguero and Luis Enrique, and I think the level of ignorance shown and lack of compassion shown to Vinicius Jr is outstanding. I just can't believe that can happen and we can blame the potential victim. Imagine all the kids, not of colour, just kids in general, listening to that thinking, well, I've got to be careful how I celebrate now because I could be targeted. And he's potentially said something homophobic, that's what he's saying now, it's not racist. But even that alone, just to find it in any way, I just don't understand it. And I think that is the worrying thing, is that the bigger issues in society that consciously Jose has said it after the game where it could be deemed emotional reaction, but then he's gone into a press conference and doubled down on it again. So he's consciously thought about what he's saying, and that is his viewpoint. Jose
has remained pretty much silent since. He's basically said, look, the two players came to me and offered different ideas of what happened, different events, and he's decided he wanted to stay neutral in it. He obviously won't be there, as Phil was saying, and we know he's banned. So he didn't do his pre-match press conference either. But in terms of I don't really want to make this necessarily about Jose's legacy, but it can be incredibly damaging when you start to look, Joe, at ultimately victim blaming and trying to justify one course of events that has allegedly happened with a celebration in football.
Yeah, well, first of all, I said it after the game, Laura. I said, UEFA have put themselves in a difficult position because they've not really thought it out. The structure, when Vinicius... First of all, I really admire Vinicius for standing up because he doesn't need to do that. Do you know what I mean? He's not the only black player that would be racially abused. But he's Real Madrid striker, young man having the time of his life. But obviously it feels so strongly that he's like, I'm taking the fight to this. So I admire him for that. He's not relenting. If he hears any racist abuse at any time, he's going to do that. Then I would think about UEFA and I think about what they put in place where it was, we're going to give it 10 minutes and then come back. They just missed a trick, right? And I said it afterwards. So as soon as Prestianni does that, covers his mouth and says, it's very difficult for them to prove it. Like Jose said, this kid said this, Vinicius Jr said that. I mean, a simple solution to the next time is if any players do... It's cowardice. I said it on the night. If you're not owning what you say, then we're just going to assume you said the worst possible thing, racist, homophobic, and then we'll go there. So I think UEFA have missed the trick. And Jose, I think, has come out and he's tried to make it about his team. Rather than what's right and what's wrong, he's tried to be Benfica, Real Madrid, and we're in this tie. And it's a little bit more than football. And football brings unity. Do you know what I mean? I think it's what it can bring the whole world together. But it's on nights like this everyone needs to behave properly. And so going forward, we can all become better.
I feel like that's the thing on Jose. I think, he's so well respected. Former players, I think fans have respected him, that when he's wrong, which it was in that scenario, that he'd be somebody that you'd look at that would speak out on it. And I just feel like he's let a few people down by not, and by having the comments that he had on the night. Somebody that has, respected him as a supporter of Chelsea, have looked at him. You think he's always been the guy that people have really respected. Well, I feel like he let people down.
Yeah, I don't know Jose as well as you guys, and I don't think he's racist. I just think that the ignorance shown towards the issue, like the reference points of Eusebio and Benfica not being racist, and there's actual images of fans making monkey chants and gestures to Vinicius Jr, so he's wrong in that. Then to say it's happening every time and he seems to be on the pitch, what does that even mean? I just, there's so many elements to it that were more worrying than the actual incident for me, because we talk about education. The player knows not to say that, hence why he's covered his mouth. So you're not going to be able to educate him because he knows right and wrong. But if you're consciously thinking them things and justifying it, that is the more worrying.
It must be a lot as well for Vinicius Jr. to have to not only deal with racist abuse then, but also back in the league abuse that Phil was saying, it's not racist, it's still abuse, and still want to and have the motivation to be a spokesperson where he doesn't need to, and he will be helping a lot of other players, Joleon, by being that person, but it comes with a lot.
Oh, definitely. And again, what's the worrying thing is it comes with a lot of experience. The fact that he's had to experience this so many times and now he's able to control his emotion, because we've seen him react differently, probably the way I would react more aggressively than he did there. He showed a lot of composure and Joe said he deserves a lot of credit for that. But the continuation of it, he potentially getting numb to it, which is, again, worrying. But credit to him, he's kind of taken the face of it and hopefully continues to make progress.